The process of assimilation by school children of a certain system of knowledge and skills, education and development of school children is carried out in various forms of organizing the educational process. In the theory and practice of teaching natural science with biology, the necessity of using various forms of organizing the educational process in connection with the work of school children is sustainable. The main form of organization of the educational process is a lesson. For the assimilation of the system of knowledge and skills in natural science with biology by school children, other forms of education are also of great importance. The form of teaching is the organization of educational and cognitive activities corresponding to the various conditions of its implementation. Three groups of forms of organizing educational activity. The first is lesson, which can be introductory, subject, generalizing, excursion, mixed or combined. Extracurricular work, which includes homework, observation in nature, long-term experiments and electives. And extracurricular activities, which include sections, excursions, hiking trips, quizzes, Olympiads and holidays. Common features of these forms. The first, the solution of certain cognitive educational tasks, narrow and general and more. About the narrow only for this lesson and about the general for the system of knowledge for the whole subject. Selection of material is the second. The lesson is an integral, logically complete link while remaining at the same time a part of the system. Third, the use of various methods and techniques. The choice and combination of teaching forms depends on the goals and content of the topic of the lesson. Fourth, sufficient material support. And five, optimal pace and rationally used time. The difference between the form and the method is that the method has a source of knowledge, according to which the type of the method is established. New forms are constantly appearing in school practice. The content of education, goals, objectives, and teaching methods are implemented in different organizational forms of training sessions. Their choice is not random. It is due to the influence of many factors, the most important of which are the educational task of teaching biology implemented by a specific content. The choice of forms is influenced by the production and natural environment too. For example, teaching is carried out in a rural school as the teacher does not have the opportunity to take a field trip to a research institution. In this case, showing an educational film in the classroom makes it possible to acquaint school children with the methods of cognizing living objectives, with special devices and materials that help to study them. In schools of large cities, it is not always possible to go to the forest, meadow or field, lake, to conduct an excursion. Therefore, it is carried out in the school area using lawns and squares. The choice of the form of teaching biology is also influenced by the equipment of educational process, the equipment of the office with natural and visual aids, and technical teaching aids too. This is especially true for the variety of lesson types. So, a sufficient number of natural visual teaching aids facilitates laboratory and independent work in the lesson. The lack of natural objects can be compensated for by pictorial visual aids. The choice of the form of organization of training is determined by the specific of the contingent of school children in a particular class. Very often there are several parallel classes at school, and one differs from the other in the level of preparedness, independence, and interests of the school children. When planning the educational process, the teacher usually takes into account all these features, developing calendar thematic planning. The main form of teaching organization is a lesson. At the same time, the study of natural science with biology cannot be limited to a lesson only. Remaining the main form of organizing training, the lesson should interact with excursions, extracurricular activities. Consolidation and improvement of the knowledge gained, the development of practical skills takes place while doing homework, which is necessarily associated with all forms of educational work. Extracurricular activities are designed to broaden the horizons of primary and secondary school children, deepen subject knowledge, develop research skills and abilities. At the beginning of season, an introductory excursion is held, in which school children fill out how the position of the sun has changed, measure the temperature of air, water, soil, and observe changes in the life of plants and animals too. Then lessons are conducted on the study of seasonal changes in non-living and wildlife nature, which are the information received by school children on excursions. Outside of the lessons, school children observe the weather and phenomenological phenomena in the life of plants and animals. At home, they fill in the observation diaries. The results of this extracurricular and homework are also used in the classroom during the formation of ideas about seasonal changes in the nature of a given area. In the school naturalistic circle, students or school children set up experiments and conduct more complex phenomenological observation that expand and deepen their knowledge of the program material. Thus, all organizational forms of teaching natural science are closely related to each other.